and welcome to another episode of Bill Has Opinions, the show where we drink and say things. I'm Laura Lavoie, and I'm joined, of course, by Bill Perkins, who has opinions. How are you, Bill?
I'm good. I want to throw out here that with 3% reporting already tonight, I think we can go ahead and call this thing.
3%. That 3% is for Mickey Mouse, who apparently still gets a particular percentage of the vote every year.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go ahead and call it for Mickey Mouse. It looks like the early precincts are going out.
I should have put a map up here, so and the Midwest is.
Yeah, we got the blue, we got the red.
We do. I actually realized that I was wearing a red shirt, and it is by no means supporting any particular candidate, but it's my Fall Spice unicorn.
All right.
So that's why I'm wearing red.
I'm wearing a blue shirt, which is just coincidental because I felt like putting on a blue shirt today. It goes with my blue shoes that I like to wear. I always get compliments when I wear my blue shoes. I don't know what it is, but I tell you what, people, if you want to look sweet, get yourself one pair of colored shoes, and you will get compliments. That's what I'm going to say. That's a little business advice from Bill. Get yourself some colored shoes.
Perfect. My sister swears by sparkly shoes. She always has like gold and silver shoes. She likes them. They make her happy. They make her husband embarrassed to be out in public with her, but they make her very happy.
Yeah. My wife feels that way about pants that are silver or gold when I wear them.
All right. So let's just dive right in. What are you drinking on this fine U.S. election night?
I just found
That's empty.
Yeah, Mother Earth Kolsch. I finished that already. Today's a good day for drinking. I should have poured myself a third beer. I really should have. Maybe during station break.
We can manage to make that happen at some point.
I'll duck out during station break, pour myself a third beer. Right now, I'm about to start a Highland Gaelic from Asheville, North Carolina. Because that I don't know that they don't have a lot of. Those are the only two middle of the road kind of things they had on the menu. They had a bunch of very hoppy IPAs, like four IPAs. That's too many IPAs. The other night we had 4 IPAs and 2 porters, which I thought that was a really weird menu. But I guess we must have tapped out one of the porters and moved on to Gaelic or something, which is better. Okay. Anyway.
So you need to talk to the buyer is what you need to do, apparently.
Tonight's a good night for drinking, and I advise all my friends out there, if you're not in a recovery program, to grab a drink because it'll help you cope. And if you are in a recovery program, oh yeah, sorry, you need to talk about your beers.
If you're not in a recovery, or if you are in a recovery program, don't start drinking today.
No.
That'll just make it worse. No, but I went with some fall beers. I have a Nitro Chai Milk Stout from Left Hand Brewing, which I believe is out of Colorado. It's super good. I was going with kind of a fall spice thing. I mean, chai is a year-round flavor for me, but it still fits. But to follow that up, check this out. This is one of my favorite beers. Southern Pecan. It's one of the only browns I still like from Lazy Magnolia out of Mississippi.
Ah, nice. Shiner Bock, their holiday beer has pecan. It's like pecan peach or something like that. I think their holiday cheer from Shiner. And by the way, I think I mentioned this before, but Shiner is only good for seasonal beers, in my opinion. Like, I don't like regular Shiner Bock, but I do like several of their seasonals. So.
So grab them. And coming up, not this month, but I think early December, we will be doing a winter seasonal beer episode. So save up your seasonal beers, folks.
Yes.
We will drink them.
We'll drink them.
We'll drink them together live on the air, I guess. All right. So we are here, and hey, we've got a whole bunch of viewers. Welcome, everybody. And that's exciting. And so everyone wants to watch our returns, apparently. So, Bill, can you kick off the show? Like, what are we talking about today? What is this all about?
We're talking about the election process, the electoral process in general, like the ins and outs of voting, why we do it, or why we don't. I don't know. That's what I want to discuss today. I should drop this idea on Laura ages ago, I think, because I have opinions about it. I tell you what, you might, and I'm trying to decide, like, yeah. So, okay, my monologue here. I'm going to go ahead and start with this. First off, I get so fed up with people saying, if you don't vote, you can't complain. Okay? Like, on one hand, I totally, like, I think you should vote. Okay? I'm totally, like, everybody, well, I don't know about if you're a dumbass and you're completely uninformed, fucking stay home. You're not helping. Okay, so there's that. First off, if you're like completely apolitical, like it doesn't fucking matter to you, and you don't know shit from Shinola, fine, stay the fuck home. You're not helping. Secondly, if you don't vote, you can complain, and here's why: because you get a shitty choice. It's basically like, do you want a turd sandwich or, you know, a douche bottle? That's what you get, right? Like, and it's like, yeah, I totally get the onus of people to say, fuck it, the whole process is dumb and I don't like it and I'm not going to do it. I get it. Like, I go through that process every fucking time it comes around. I'm like, oh my God, like I got to pick one of these assholes again, you know, because I'll say this. That being said, like I'm really into I'm more into the primary process, because that's where you really get to like try and move the thing the way you wanted to move it, right? Although it seems for the last 2 times I tried that, I'm starting to get disheartened with that whole thing. So, you know, I'm steadily moving towards, yeah, the turd panini, exactly.
I mean, it's a very fancy turd sandwich, really.
we put it in the press.
You might have some cheese on there, some cured meats, just to round out the flavor.
Right. But anyway, I'm just saying the choices are bad. The process is fucked up. I'm increasingly disheartened by the whole thing. And I totally get why people don't want to do it or don't want to participate. And just because you don't want to participate because it's terrible doesn't mean you as an American don't have a right to bitch about it. You totally do. So I get tired of hearing people say, well, if you don't vote, you can't complain, because you totally can. You can still complain. You can sit home all year and still complain in my book, and it's fine. That's your damn right as an American, is to complain. Like, if we have nothing else going on, we can complain. And that's what this show's all fucking about, right? Getting drunk and complaining.
It doesn't matter what we complain about. It might be paninis, it might be the election process, but that's what we're here to do.
But anyway, you know, but that said, I still go out and vote, because on the slightest chance that it might make a fucking difference, I don't want to be kicking myself going, maybe I could have done something different. I'll tell you something funny. I get this invitation once a month. I get this invitation. I don't live in Asheville anymore, but I live close enough to Asheville, and I'm still on a bunch of Asheville groups or something, you know, on Facebook. And I get this invitation once a month from somebody to participate in something called the Universal Dance for Peace. It happens like the 3rd Sunday of every month. And that sounds like a bunch of hippie woo-woo to me, and I'm not the least bit interested in it. However, I do once in a while go, I wonder if my non-participation is part of the problem. Like, maybe if I were to show up for the Universal Dance for World Peace, suddenly the world would be a better place. Hey, it's my nonchalance towards it that's keeping it from happening, right?
It might be worth a try.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It might help, right?
Right. But also, I would love to see you attend the annual International Dance for Peace, whatever the hell it is. I would love to see that, because that would be awesome.
Maybe I'll show up one Sunday and I'll video it for the show.
That would be good. You could take my beloved partner Matt with you, because he has spent this entire pandemic learning to floss. So he really wants to be able to show that off to somebody. Just needed to share that.
Oh, wait. Do you think there's a particular dance you have to do? Or do you just bring whatever dance you know? Because I'm going to be like...
I don't know. I have no idea. But if you could just, yeah. See, like, world peace. But if you showed up and Matt flossed, I mean, I think it might put them over the edge. Like,
you'll floss and I'll chicken dance, and there'll be world peace next week.
Yes. Also, I would like to point out that I have not mastered flossing. I cannot do it. I am not coordinated in any way, shape, or form. Just in case anyone was wondering, nobody was.
I tried it. I hit myself in the groin.
He's been spending hours trying to figure this thing out. So, I mean, good on him. Well, that's a different dance. That's totally different.
That's different. That's not flossing?
What you were doing right there is not flossing.
It's just you do your arms back and forth.
Kind of. But you were kind of doing one of these things. That's what you were doing. It's not flossing. But this show is not about flossing, although I would argue maybe sometimes flossing is better than U.S. elections. So
right, yeah, we should have a vote for that. Vote for the national dance.
Ooh,
should it be
national dance?
Yeah, should it be flossing or the electric slide, or what should we have as the national dance?
So Heather has some feedback for you. You can't bend your elbows. Your arms have to be straight out. So
I was doing that because I'm sitting down.
Which I've come to the conclusion that sitting down to floss is not possible. Like, I don't think it's an adaptive sport.
It was for demonstration purposes. I just didn't want to get up and floss. Which you can't do. So I wasn't going, why exert the effort?
Oh my God. We have a lot more show here.
All right.
But when we got off track, let's do our station break here, and then we can move into. Oh yeah, you're gonna go get a beer while I'll do that, because I got a story. About the station break, folks. So as y'all know, because I talk about it sometimes, I'm really into like tiki culture, tiki cocktails, all that sort of stuff. I'm on several groups, and an artist was selling her tiki swizzles, which are the swizzle sticks, and they're all the rage. People collect them. And it was great. They were beautiful. They're gorgeous. And then some guy decided he needed to explain, or shall I say, mansplain to her, how they're way too expensive and shitty quality, and they might not be of value. But she's an artist, and these are really, really good. So this whole conversation, it was like 20 comments where he was explaining to her how bad these things were. And he said that then people might break them, people might have allergies to them. And I'm like, well, I don't even understand your comments. So because of that entire conversation, I actually purchased the swizzle sticks, because I'm like, some guy's going to be an asshole on the internet. I'm going to show him by spending money with an artist. But look at them. They're so cute.
They're so cute.
Look how cute. But the best part was, yes?
The best part was that you don't even have allergies to them.
I do not have allergies to them. And so one of the things she said to him at some point was, how would you break them? What are you doing? Sticking them up your butt? And so,
as a matter of fact,
I ordered them and specifically commented on that thread that was why I was ordering them, because that thread was everything. So she sent me a handwritten note that said, sending along a bonus swizzle in case someone breaks one up their butt or something. So I actually do have 3 of them, these little, and she has all kinds. She's just released her holiday ones, which are green and red and super cute. Now I'm gonna have to spend even more money. So I actually made a thing to put up here so that people could see that. So if you want to check her out, her name is Kim Bang. You can find her on the interwebs, Kim Bang. She does other cool art, like retro art and stuff too. She lives in Chicago. Seems really cool. So check her out, buy her stuff. It's available to you. And that is our station break.
All right.
All right. Okay, I'm done playing with them now. So they work so well. Like they can just go across the bottom of the screen.
We'll be using them for the rest of the show from now on. It'll be a thing.
I mean, they could be a pointer. Like you're like, and Bill over here. All right. That is unrelated to the topic though. So
okay.
we have a number of things that you mentioned you wanted to talk about. Things like the actual election process.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
things like that. Let's start out with the actual election process.
The actual election process. Okay. So I probably mentioned 2 weeks ago I went and actually voted. I voted early, which I usually do, and the reason I do vote early is because I don't like my normal polling place, which is like this really shitty rinky-dink joint out in the boonies. I prefer to go to the nicer polling place. You know, it's
reasonable.
It doesn't look like some ramshackle cabin that's falling in. And so, you know, because it's over in East Flat Rock, the early voting place. It's the East Flat Rock Town Hall.
Oh yeah,
very nice. You know, it's a nice building. I went over there and did that. And on the day I went, I got there at like 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. There were like 12 people in front of me, and by the time I got done, there were probably about 20 people behind me. So it was a very I'll tell you what, man, if early voting was any indication, there's a lot of participation this year. And I will say that's one good thing about the person who is the president right now is he has increased voter participation. I don't think he intended to, but that was the effect. That voters are very, very eager to participate now. Anyway, yeah. So I got to say that. Although, you know, to go back to my earlier point, I don't really think that like everybody should vote if you don't care enough to educate yourself on the positions of the people. Just to show up, and I have to be honest, I'm guilty a little bit because like I show up and I always feel like the judges and the school board people, like I don't know enough about that, and I always feel like, oh, I don't know enough about this, you know, and then I wind up like, oh, who do I pick, you know, and either I do a brief, like while I'm in the car before I get out, I do a brief like, you know, just have the party I lean towards tell me who they think I should pick, or I go in and I make completely arbitrary choices based on last names, which is kind of like profiling in a way. Like I'm like, Leibowitz, that sounds liberal, I'll vote for him.
You're progressive profiling.
Yeah. You know, I'm like, you know, Jamal Cunningham. That sounds. He sounds like he might be black. I'll vote for him. You know, so,
there are clearly worse things people have voted for. So which we have evidence of. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So this year, because I'm in Georgia, you know, I certainly voted. I voted at a Waffle House. So normally I am an in-person voting on voting day person. And that started way back when, because my company would give us the time off to go vote and I hated my job. So I would go vote and I could like, oh yeah, it was just so crowded. It took me 2 hours and then I wouldn't be at work. So but this year, obviously, for various reasons, not the least of which is the pandemic, I did not want to do that because that sounds awful. And they made it really easy. In Atlanta and Georgia in general, they have Dropbox, real official Dropboxes. You're not just like dropping it off in a trash can outside a building. Although the one where we did drop it off, our city hall here in Decatur is right next to a Waffle House. So the Dropbox looks like it's in front of a Waffle House. And at first I was like, that can't be real. There's no way that's a real Dropbox. Turns out it is. And that's where my vote went. And my vote was counted because I checked the Georgia My Voter page to make sure.
Okay, so there's a tracking thing if you voted not in person.
I believe, well, in Georgia, you can track even if you early voted.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't, if I voted in person, I'm not the least bit worried about it, to be honest. Like I was like, yeah, I did the thing. It's fine,
Right. I did want to make sure mine was accepted. It actually said the word accepted on it, because then I would play it. Yeah, exactly, Albert. That is Georgia AF right there. That is 100% what voting at the Waffle House is. That is peak Georgia. First of all, it's peak Georgia that our city hall is right next to a goddamn Waffle House, and then beyond that they have a drop box out in front of the Waffle House.
Is that peak P-E-A-K Georgia or P-I-Q-U-E Georgia?
This would be peak Georgia. This would be the pinnacle of Georgia. So it would be PEA. Exactly. Like a mountain. It did not pique my interest, and I did not peek around the corner at it.
Nor did you
some homonyms for you. I did not. But we should start a grammar corner of the Bill Has Opinion show.
We talked about that. That's why I brought it up.
Just a little grammar information. So you also mentioned something when we spoke this week, kind of planning the show. You mentioned specifically the apathetic non-voters, which I think is different from your you don't know enough and you're a dumbass, so you might not want to vote or shouldn't vote. But the apathetic non-voters who are I've never voted in an election in my life.
Yeah, I remember I had the experience after the last election of I was sitting in a bar and I listened to some guy and he was over there belly aching about something. And he was like, but I don't vote, because it's all horse shit. And these people are all dumb and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I said to him, I said, do you even vote? Do you vote in the primaries at least? And he was like, no, I don't. And I was like, well, because you have a little more say in the primary. Like if you give it, if your gripe is in the general, there's assholes in the election, but you don't vote in the primary, then you're part of the reason that there's assholes in the general election. Like that's when you have a chance to say, I would rather this person than that person be on the ticket under this letter. Yeah. And every time this happens, I get it. I get being fed up with the whole thing because if you're registered as a Democrat, you go down there and you pick the person who's most like a Republican. And if you're registered as a Republican, you go down there and you pick the person who's the most far-fetched, weird, asinine shit there is. And those are the two winners. It's like a Republican circa 10 years ago versus some crazy person with conspiracy theories who shouldn't be out of the nut house,
Right. So
people are frustrated.
No, it makes sense. Clearly, our system is broken. We might be able to solve that this show. We'll talk about that soon. But one thing I will say about the apathetic non-voter is this year, this is purely anecdotal. Obviously, 3 people is not enough to swing an election potentially. But several people that we know who were complete non-voters, have never voted in their lives, voted. They registered, they voted. Because like you said, if there's one thing you can say about this election is it got people out voting. And these are people one was in their 30s, one was in their 40s, and one was in his 60s. That he had never voted his entire life and went out and voted.
Okay. I know someone who was old enough to vote in the last midterm election and didn't vote because and then she did vote this time. And then I know one new voter who was very excited to go out and vote, So I know 2 new voters. Again, they were on the younger set. I don't know any old people who just decided to vote. But I don't talk to a lot of older folks, to be honest. Aside from people around my age, I don't like people older than me. I don't talk to them. I don't hang in that demographic. I don't know.
I did see today on Facebook an acquaintance of mine who lives here in Georgia was working one of the polling places, and she said she has seen so many first-time voters. And she didn't say what demographic. It was people that just never voted or people that couldn't vote before that are voting now. So, hey, one thing, at least people are participating, if we can say that about it.
There is that. My son's actually working a voting place tonight. He took so he he passed on the opportunity to get his driver's license when he should have, and because at the time he didn't think he cared, he didn't have any reason to need a driver's license. And then about 3 months after that, he developed a social life and realized he should have got a driver's license. But he did not. And anyway, that's come back to haunt him. But so he's kind of wanted a job for a while, but he can't get a job because he doesn't have any way to get to a job without someone else dragging his ass there. Ergo, he ended up taking a position as I think he's the technology gopher at a polling place, which means basically he's responsible for turning it off and turning it back on again.
Yeah. But hey, it's an important job and someone needs to do it.
Yes. Because if you'll ever notice when you go into a polling place that 90% of the people working in a polling place are 80 years old or more.
Yeah, my mother-in-law used to do the volunteering at the polling place. She loved that shit. She was there.
And I appreciate the hell out of them because I don't want to do it, but at the same time, I get why the computer suddenly not working might be a complete problem for a bunch of octogenarians. And you need at least one teenager there to go, hey, let's just turn it off and see what happens.
Let's just see what happens. My polling place in Asheville it's at a temple, a Jewish temple, but all of the poll workers are from the Unitarian church right up the road that I sometimes go to. So I'm familiar with those people. So every time I walk in, it's just a bunch of Unitarians in a Jewish temple working the polls. So not the poll, like they're not. That would be an interesting. Yeah, that's like Unitarian strippers. Like that's
yeah.
It's a whole different. So that's another show altogether.
Wow.
So you also mentioned to me when we were preparing for the show, single issue voters, and I believe you have some opinions about that.
They're worse. Single issue voters are worse than non-voters. Okay. Because how dumb is that to boil all your shit down to one thing? Like all I care about is one thing. There's only one issue. Like how privileged must you be for only one issue to affect your life? And the thing is, it's usually not even an issue that affects your life. That's the thing. It's an issue that affects other people that doesn't concern you one iota. But you've conflated it into being the end-all, be-all of things you should vote about. And that's the only thing you care about, like, this one thing, and I'm not going to get into what that one thing usually is, but I think we all know what it is. Wink, wink. I'm just going to say, if
let's say that it's saving the gray wolf. Let's say that's your single issue vote. You're saving the gray wolf.
If you're going to save the gray wolf, there's a lot of other peripheral issues that are tangentially related to the well-being of said gray wolf that you might also concern yourself with. If we go to war with Russia, they might bomb us and thus kill the gray wolf. Therefore, that is of some concern if you care about the gray wolf. If, let's say there's some sort of a disease that's cross-species and maybe like canines can get it, that would also affect the gray wolf, and therefore you should give a shit. I'm just saying there's a lot of things out there, that could affect. Your single issue is broader than you think it is, and you should maybe expand your horizons a little bit.
Yeah, well, So, and right now, this is a true issue. This could be our single issue. The gray wolf was actually removed from the endangered species list last Thursday. True story. So this is a legit issue. That's a problem. Because they should still be.
Listen, here's the thing, because if you don't manage the gray wolf, then you're going to have say that gray wolf is extinct. Now you've got deer populations exploding. Say the gray wolf doesn't concern you one bit. You don't care about the gray wolf. You would rather there not be gray wolves because you're a cattle rancher and you don't want gray wolves attacking your cattle. But you've been having a good year with cattle and you got some money, and so you bought yourself a new sports car and you're out cruising around one night. Doodly-doo, I'm cruising around in my new sports car. Oh, shit, I hit a deer. Why'd you hit a deer? Because the deer population's unchecked because you let the gray wolf get out of hand. Or sorry, because you killed off the gray wolf, and now the gray wolf can't check the deer population. And so now your sports car's busted because of your own fucking actions. I'm just saying, these things, it's all, nothing happens in a vacuum, folks. The single issue is dumb. Think a little broader. Think about more things than one thing. It just drives me fucking nuts that people will pick one thing and get hung up on that. They don't give a shit about anything else that happens. And the thing is, it's all related to me. Like I said, the scenario I gave with the gray wolf. There's those other issues, regardless of what your target. This is the thing I'm protecting is. If you think a little more broadly, you'll realize that a lot of the other issues that are going on affect that thing probably more broadly than the one thing you thought you were voting for. Ergo, I believe single issue voters are a bigger detriment to democracy than the damn non-voters. Because the non-voters, at least they've decided, hey, you know what? I don't have a stake in this. Fuck it, I'm not doing it. Okay, fine. Good for you. I prefer that really to you getting involved in something you have no, stake in.
Right. Yeah, no, and that's yeah. So let's leave that there, but single issue voters, we have opinions about single issue voters.
Yeah.
Without getting too far into what those opinions are, I think people can read between the lines. So you also mentioned in a similar fashion, gerrymandering. You've got some opinions about that.
I wanted to talk about the general process of democracy here. And it's because I live in a state where, we've kind of gotten into, and I think Laura mentioned on her list of things she wanted to talk about. She wanted to talk about how we've kind of become, it's become team sports, has it not?
It really has. Yeah, you're either on the red team or you're on the blue team.
Or you're on one of those other teams that doesn't finish most of the time.
I mean, they're participating, they're doing a thing. And I do have to say, our two-party system is severely fucked.
Yes, I agree with you. And truth be told, in an ideal world, I wouldn't vote for the team I vote for. Okay.
Yes.
I would love to vote for somebody else, but the stakes are every fucking election. Oh my God, my entire life, every election's been. This is the election to end all elections. You've got to vote for this. You can't possibly vote for this thing this time. And I'm always like, oh shit, okay, fine, I'll do it this time. But then next time I'm voting for some crazy thing, right? Because I'd rather. And here's the thing I'm going to say about third parties, I guess, before I get into gerrymandering. Third parties are great. I like the idea of them a lot. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of ideas, and some of them I identify with, and there's a lot of ideas I don't identify with in some of them. But start at the ground level, work your fucking way up. You can't run. Third parties can't run for president right now. They gotta get the groundswell. They gotta start at school board and town council and work their fucking way up.
The good news is they are doing that.
Right.
But they're also running presidential candidates because why wouldn't you? So
right. But the presidential candidate thing is just noise. It's just fucking noise, is what I'm saying. They are.
It does help the process because by getting a certain amount of votes, they're more likely to get more recognition in their states for local elections.
Okay, I will give you that. I feel like to some degree it's just like, and hey, here's a spoiler candidate if you don't like either of these other two. It's like it's there for the, I don't know, but anyway. So let's get on this though. So the two-party system's dumb. I agree with you on that, and I agree with anybody who votes for a third party on that particular issue. That the two-party system is stupid. It's the system we have, so I try to work within it.
Exactly.
Therefore, I do usually pick the lesser of two evils. Although I have voted third party. My first election was 1992, and it was the year that it was Clinton and Bush and Ross Perot, and then I didn't vote for either of those three. I voted for a crazy third party. I want to say I voted for Lenora Falani, who was some kind of socialist or some shit. I can't remember exactly. Because I was just like, I was 18. I just got the right to vote. And I was like, I'm going to do something crazy. I don't give a fuck. These people are all assholes.
I very much remember that election, but I was 1 year shy of being able to vote, do anything about it.
And you know what else? There was, this is funny because when I was living in Chicago at the time, but I voted absentee ballot in South Carolina. But so there was a candidate running as a third party candidate up in the Great Lakes area, named Bo Gritz, who supposedly he's the guy that Rambo was based on. And he was running on the Constitution Party or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
All right.
I don't know. I wanted to vote for him just because I was going to vote for some crazy third party anyway. Got my South Carolina absentee ballot, and he wasn't on that one. He was like, most of his work had been in the Great Lakes area, so he was on the ballot. He was on the ballots up there, but he wasn't on the South Carolina ballot. So that's why I ended up picking. So, and I'm surprised actually, in retrospect, that there was a socialist on the South Carolina ballot. Because that doesn't, like, Bo Gritz actually would have skewed better down there. I think he was kind of running on a populist sort of thing. Mm-hmm. He would actually probably do well now. Like, he was just ahead of his time. Like, he would have done swell, in the last couple years here. But anyway, he was ahead of his time, and I was going to vote for him just for shits and giggles because I knew he was going to win. And nobody I was going to vote for was going to win. And the reason I voted for a weird third party was because I was, at the time, I wanted to be able to say, no matter what, I wanted to be able to say, but you can't blame me. I didn't vote for that ass.
Right. It didn't matter which asshole. You just weren't voting for any of them.
I wasn't voting
for enough.
So gerrymandering.
I'm with you, Heather, though. Gotta say real quick. Ross Perot and his charts that was good times. I missed
Let me finish. Laura, let me finish. Can I finish? If anyone is younger than us, they won't get that.
That's exactly, which is why this show is like a dad joke in podcast form.
Anyway, gerrymandering. So I live in North Carolina. In North Carolina is this weird sort of thing where, so North Carolina is a fucking blue state. But it votes red because they've got it gerrymandered the fuck up. Like 15 years ago, GOP realized they were losing power, and they cut the state all up into these weird sections so that there's not a single metropolitan area in this state that isn't like bisected and adjoined to the nearest rural area, so that the rural area can skew the whole area, the whole precinct red. You know what I mean? Like, you've probably seen these diagrams they show about what's fair and what's not. But the way they've got North Carolina jacked up, it's impossible to vote for a person for Congress. It's impossible to vote in a Democrat for Congress here, but we'll have but we can vote a Democrat for governor. and we can go blue for the presidential election, you know, and it's just fucking nuts. Like if that's the, I would like to think we could probably go blue for Senate one day, but I don't know like what the fucking deal with that is. We've got the worst fucking senators. We really have the worst Senate representation here. They're the two biggest fucking shields for the pharmaceutical industry I have ever seen in my life. Why people fucking vote for these guys, I don't know. They don't do a damn thing for you locally. They don't care about North Carolina. They care about corporations, and it's ridiculous. But anyway, but it's funny to me that like we've got a Democratic governor, but we don't have like the precincts are all gerrymandered and fucked up, so that we can't have the state house nor our congressional representation represent what the people actually want because of gerrymandering. And gerrymandering is just like one of the 6 sneaky ways that a particular party likes to try and maintain power when they don't have any. And I think it's pretty telling that one party has the word democracy almost in their title and the other one doesn't, you know? And that explains kind of how they feel about whether or not people's votes should count. You've seen a lot of things this particular election about voter suppression and different dirty, underhanded tactics to fuck around with the vote. And I was going to go into this particular issue, this entire episode. I was going to try and be more even-handed than I am, I guess, but I'm not. Sorry.
It's hard, really. Because I do believe very strongly, so it's hard to be very neutral.
I mean, we're drinking and we have opinions. I'm going to state what I think, right?
Probably true. Yeah. So one thing I do have to say, and even outside of gerrymandering, just in general, yes, we really need to fucking vote for president. We need to do all those things. These are things. But what will also make a difference is participating in every local election. Like, don't let those go by because you don't think you care about that or whatever. Because the local elections actually make a bigger difference in your life. Well, a big difference in your life, not necessarily bigger. So you got to do that shit.
I will say this is the previous. I want to say the last midterm. I went to go vote in the primaries in the midterm. This was 2 years ago. And I went, at the time I was not living where I live now. I was living up in Woodfin, north of Asheville. And Woodfin is an interesting place. Anyway, the funny thing was most of the elections that were on the ballot for that particular midterm primary were all contested. There was one person you could vote for. And that's a thing that really concerns me. I hate uncontested elections. I hate voting on them because even if I was voting on an uncontested ballot and everybody on that ballot was somebody in the party I favored, I would still kind of not like the idea that I don't have a choice. And I don't know what to do about that particular thing. Because I guess the logical thing to say is, well, if you don't like uncontested elections, you should run for office.
Right.
I don't want to run for office. I don't want to be involved in that shit. I don't want to sit through I can't even show up for a local No, I get you, Heather. I totally get it, and I respect the hell out of people who do. I can't watch a YouTube video of a fucking city council meeting, much less show up for one once a week. I would go, bam. That's what I'd show up. I'd show up one week with a gun, and I'd be like, bam, and that would open the meeting, and everybody have something to talk about that day.
And that would be quite the thing. But
that ever happened in a city council meeting.
You can get very, very involved. Hello, Casey Keene. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome. Hope you're ready to get apolitical with us. So that's what we're doing right here, getting apolitical. But I do suggest there are other ways to get involved than just running for office, though. It's just literally getting involved in the community and volunteering for candidates that you care about, doing, I've actually done, the little where you stand outside the polling place and tell people, please vote for this guy because I like him. His name was Gordon. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, I like Gordon.
I was kind of bad at it though, because I'm like, Gordon's really nice, but he's running against someone who's also pretty cool. So whatever.
Vote for one of them.
Now that's very true, Mr. Matt. They are not bad when there's an issue you care about being discussed. That is very, very, very true.
I'm sorry, what was this in relation to?
For city council meetings being boring.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about a single issue.
I don't think you went back there. You didn't go that far back.
It's okay.
But I agree because I've spoken at city council meetings and things, and I was really passionate about these subjects. So
yeah. Once in a while, there's a thing that you care about, and you feel like I should go down there and make a stink. But most of the time, it's very, and even then, you have to sit through like 40 minutes of bullshit before you get to the thing you're going to raise a stink about, right? I mean, it's like they could make the show a little exciting. They need some like, fire pots or something, like.
You could totally do the Patton Oswalt thing from Parks and Rec, where you tell the entire plot of Star Wars. Why wouldn't you do that?
It wasn't just Star Wars. It was about how the Marvel universe ties back to Star Wars.
Indeed it was. Indeed, apparently some people have actually done that since. Like they've gone and done the exact same thing. Yeah, now it's a thing that you just got to try once in your life, I suppose. All right, so another very important part of voting, or part of elections that we need to talk about, is I think this is the one that we get a little frustrated by, right? It's all the texts and all the campaign phone calls and all the shit we get.
Oh my God. Even today, like it's voting day already. Like it's done. Shut the fuck up. And I've gotten like 17 texts today. And I've been texting stop. I don't care. I'm not donating any more money to your campaign. I'm done. I'm not going to contact 3 friends. I'm not going to do any of this shit. Shut the fuck up. Everybody's voted. Oh my God. And you know how Facebook's been like for the last like 3 weeks? Like, hey, did you vote? Hey, did you vote?
Yes, right? Yes. And I know I can turn that off, but I'm like, it'll be over soon.
Yeah. Oh my God, though, it's driving me crazy. Like, because I voted 2 weeks ago, and everything's like, did you vote yet? Did you go vote? Will you go vote? And I'm like, yeah, I already did that.
Tell your friends you voted. I'm like, my friends know I fucking voted. Yeah.
I changed my profile picture to the little banner that says I voted, so everybody would know I voted. What the fuck?
It's very clear.
Oh my God.
It's very clear that I voted.
Here's a fucking thing. Facebook is smart enough that if I'm yakking about something, some random fucking thing, and my phone's listening to me, then I get targeted ads for that thing for the next 3 weeks on Facebook, right? But Facebook's not. But it's not smart enough to know that if I change my Facebook profile to say I voted at the bottom, that I fucking voted and to shut the fuck up about voting.
So one of the things I've been doing, I don't normally respond to the text because I get it. You're just trying to help. You're doing your thing, whatever. But I am apparently still on some text chains, some text lists, phone number lists from North Carolina. So I have mental, like I get a vote. Can I count on your vote for so-and-so? And I'm like, I totally would, but I live in Georgia. So sorry, I cannot. Yeah. But then I'm going to really fuck up everything because then I'm going to go back and register in North Carolina again. So then I'm going to start getting all the shit for Georgia.
Like, you said, wait.
Casey, I'll quick answer your question right here. I'm drinking a Lazy Magnolia Southern Pecan right there.
In case if you tune in from the beginning of the show like you're supposed to, you know that.
Or you can watch whenever. That's like kind of how we work. You can do whatever you want.
I'm just busting your balls, Casey.
because we love you.
Yeah.
Because we do love you. But I did. So apparently, several years ago, I think I might have told this on the show before. At least I told you, Bill. And sometimes they run together, like just regular conversations and the show. But apparently, several years ago, I signed up for some sort of Republican mailing list with the name Zaphod Beeblebrock, and then I never thought of it again. Like I didn't, because I think I just wanted to like get updates, see what the hell was going on, because it seemed like such a weird situation, and then never thought of it again. Never thought of it. Apparently, whatever list I signed up on was bought this year. So throughout this election, I keep getting, hey, Zaphod, have you voted yet? And I had totally forgotten.
You forgot that you were Zaphod Beeblebrock.
Totally forgot that I had done that.
As long as you didn't forget your towel, you're okay. It's really what matters.
That's true.
I get you, Casey. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drive you. You know, it's fine.
Hey, we tease because we love.
Casey, if you like talking about what we're drinking, we're gonna have another beer episode coming up in another couple weeks here.
We will indeed. Yes, everybody, stay tuned for that, because I don't remember what our next week is, but I have the whole rest of the year planned, folks. We've got some great topics.
Yeah. Sorry. So you still have the outline. I can't remember what else we were supposed to hit. I feel like I hit everything I meant to.
Yeah, no, we got through most of it. Let's see. We mentioned the football game that is American politics. Free and fair elections. We're for that.
I did want to say one thing about the football game. I don't care who wins as long as both teams had fun.
Yeah, no. I actually do.
I really care who wins.
I know that is not true. But we are closing in on an hour anyway. This might actually be a short show, which is crazy because usually we run long. But I think we did cover most of the topics here that we wanted to. Obviously, if you haven't voted yet, it's too late. So yeah, maybe not too late.
If you're watching from Albuquerque, you can probably still vote for another hour or two.
Yeah, you can. Polls still here in Georgia, I think, are open for a little while longer. So.
Okay. Well, you know what? The numbers will start rolling in here soon. As soon as our show goes off, they'll probably start they'll start calling. I mean, there's places they could call already. Honestly, they know. South Carolina, it's red. You know it. I know it. Whatever. You know.
Right. You know, the mistake I made last time was actually watching the returns. So this year, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I just can't.
I'm avoiding it. You know what? Here's what I just want it not to be like 2000. As long as it's not like 2000, I'll be all right. I remember so I was married to a different person in 2000. It was a long time ago. It was 20 years ago. And
yeah, that's true.
And I remember she was very invested in who won the election. She was very invested in who won that election. And I was like at around midnight, I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Whatever. I'm going to go to sleep and I'll wake up tomorrow and find out who the president is. And I woke up the next day and I didn't know who the president was. And it was a month before I knew.
Exactly. No, but I made the mistake last year of just trying to stick it out, and it was not good for anybody. I woke up the next morning and found Matt still sitting on the couch staring at a blank wall because he was shell-shocked. So we're not going to do that again this year. We're going to eat some pizza. We're going to drink. We're going to watch our TV shows, and we're going to go to bed. We'll find out what happens.
I've already had 3 beers. I might move on to hard liquor later.
Ooh,
and I'm gonna eat some junk food, some comfort food, and I'm gonna watch some stupid TV. And I will find out tomorrow or maybe later in the month who the president is.
Yep. No, we'll find it. Well, the truth is, we'll find out when we find out. There's nothing we can do about it right now.
That's true.
There's no amount of hoping or wishing or any of that that's gonna. It's what's happening is happening. So we just need to kind of wait and see, and then figure it out. Then decide if we want to move to another country. We can talk about that. But that is a different show. That is a completely different show. All right, I have for us a mailbag question, Bill. This one's a lot. This is a lot. I mean, not a lot in volume, like of words, but this is a big one. What would be the best invention you could think of, and would we live in the future if that happened?
The best invention I could think of. Oh, so I've actually thought about this because I've got like a folder full of weird invention ideas. And I'm not the kind of person who has the gumption to go and like Shark Tank this shit. I used to have this like fantasy that one day I would like become friends with Sir Richard Branson, and I would get him to hire me as an idea man. Like I would tell him for $200,000 a year, you can have me as an idea man, and any ideas I come up with belong to you. And what will happen is three times a year, you'll fly me to London to pitch my stupid ideas to you. And you'll like them or you won't like them, whatever the hell, and you can move forward with them if you like them. And that's it. That's anyway, one of my stupid ideas was this thing called National Drought and Flood Control. Okay. And so National Drought and Flood Control is about I've noticed over the last 10 years or so that the problem isn't that there's not enough water in this country. The problem is where the water is. At any given time, there is too much water somewhere and not enough water somewhere else. So what I wanted to do was have a fleet of tanker trucks. I'm saying like 200 to 300 tanker trucks with sump pumps built in. Okay, and they're going to be stationed in, let's say, like Junction City, Kansas, somewhere in the middle of the country, And whenever there's a flood going on somewhere, like as soon as we hear there's a hurricane or a huge storm coming in, it's going to pour rain on this area for like the next 3 weeks. As soon as we hear that, they roll. They head for that area. Okay, they go there. They throw the hoses out. They turn the sump pumps on, and they start sucking up the water. And they're sucking it up. And as soon as they suck it up, they take it, they start rolling, and they head west. They go somewhere in California where there's a drought, somewhere in Colorado where there's a drought, wherever the hell there's a drought, they head there. And they get there, they dump the fucking water out. Okay? Boom. And it's like a fucking train of them because like one of them gets done and the next one's right behind it, right? And then as soon as they get done, they turn around and they go right back to the place where it's flooding and they suck up another tank full of water. Anyway, so I got like 200 or 300 tanker trucks running around, moving water from here to there. That's one of my crazy ideas I had.
That is quite the invention. I mean,
I'm saying the problem isn't water, the problem is logistics.
Fair enough. All right, Bill, what is your things that are extra this week?
Oh my God. So this is personal to me because this past week we had, speaking of weather and weird shit, we had a very late season. Well, I wouldn't call it a hurricane exactly. I guess it was a tropical depression or whatever the hell.
It was, by the time it was a tropical storm, that we made it to 6 letters in the Greek alphabet after running out of names.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We made 6 letters in the Greek alphabet, and this tropical storm was a doozy of a tropical storm. It came in, because Casey lives in Nevada. She gets it. They don't have any fucking water. They can have our water. We got too much water. Take it over there. Anyway, so this week on Thursday, we had this huge tropical storm hit us. And it mostly just was a lot of wind. It wasn't rainy. It was rainy, but it was mostly windy. It was really windy, and it blew a lot of trees and shit over, and it knocked a bunch of power lines over and stuff like that. And here's the funny thing. Like, my street, I actually live on a dirt road, okay? I live way out in the boonies. I live in the woods. Like I live in a rainforest in a cove.
Right.
It stays wet all year long in my house, but the people who built the house or whoever built the whole road actually had the wherewithal to think, hey, let's put all the power lines for this road underground, so we don't have any power lines going to my house. I mean, we do, but they're underground, like not like where trees could knock them over, which is great because we live in the woods. But the problem is it goes like up the block and then it connects back to an above ground grid that's all like runs alongside the woods. And therefore, whenever there's these kinds of wind events or ice events or anything, those trees snap and break the power lines, and then it takes the power company 3 days to fix it. Why in this day and age, when we know what we know, and with the weather being like it is, like why are there still above ground power lines when you know you could bury those shits? Just instead of Duke Power coming out, or Duke or Power Progress, or whatever they're calling themselves nowadays. Anyway, instead of them coming out and just restringing the power lines back up alongside the tree line, why not dig a rut, bury them shits, and like next time it happens, it won't be a problem, right? Like you're already out there working all night.
That's absolutely true.
Like these poor linemen are going to be out there. They're not going to get any sleep for 3 weeks. Like why not just bring a ditch witch, come out there and cut a rut, put them under the ground, bury them, and then next time, hey, look, no more power outages. We don't have. I guess they don't want to be fired though. That's probably because of a labor issue. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying it's annoying as hell that Yes, I'm with you. The Green New Deal. That's a thing to vote for. That's a single issue that I'm willing to vote for. It's not a single issue. It's multiple issues that are wrapped up into one thing. Yes. Anyway,
right, I would argue that you would not be voting single issue because you care about a number of other things. So
yes, no, but it's going to affect the gray wolf at some point. The Green New Deal. No matter what your single issue is, if you let the environment go to shit, it will affect your single issue.
That's true. No matter what. All right. So that is it for our show today. Bill, can you take us away?
Yes. Bill Has Opinions is engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions expressed by Bill are his alone, except for the ones that Laura shakes her head in agreement to, and the ones that the ones that expressed by Laura are hers alone, except for the ones that Bill shakes his head in agreement to. And they're not necessarily the opinions of anybody who we mentioned during station break or any of the beers that we're drinking. But, that's a whole other thing aside. Be sure to watch. Follow on the Facebook and like us and subscribe and all that, and YouTube and leave hateful comments or feedback or whatever, and we'll try to address it later. And anyway, that's where we're at with all that. So
that's it. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week with
I hope the election goes your way, everybody.
Yay! All right, bye everybody.